You know, you see this stuff happening and you think, oh, yeah, your mind just, can't happen. Well, I was eating at a truck stop in Georgia, and I was feeling fine. Got my breakfast. I like breakfast 3 meals a day. But the waitress said to me, she said, "Are you feeling all right?" And I thought, yeah. He says, "Well, you're not looking too good." Well, I feel fine. So I ate my breakfast, and I thought, well, I better go to the bathroom and look and see, if I do look bad. Well, my hair was all wet. Looked like I was sweating, but it wasn't. It was oily. And I knew it wasn't dirty because I just took a shower before I ate. And I just kept on feeling this, and I looked in the mirror, and I seen shiny stuff in my mouth, and I'm thinking, man, I must be sick. But I went to my truck, and the Spirit of God, He arrested me. And I took a towel, and I started wiping my head. I used a whole roll of paper towels, and it was the sweetest smelling oil you ever smelt in your life. And I used a whole roll of paper towels on my head. It just kept coming and kept coming and kept coming and kept coming. And I can't explain to you. It just went through me, and God talked to me in ways that I never heard before. But He soaked me with oil. He anointed my head with oil. And I wasn't in church. I was skeptical. But He did. And it kept coming, it kept coming, it kept coming. And all I could do was pray. Well, whenever I got home, of course my wife was in church. I would come off the road. And I was brushing my teeth. And I kept seeing this sparkly stuff. And I looked. And there was gold in my mouth. And I'm thinking, I done lost it. I mean, my hair was still soaked with oil. I mean, I got in the shower. I was trying to clean up, and my wife come home and she said, "You're not going to believe this. We got gold in our teeth at church tonight." And I looked there and I said, well, I wasn't at church, but I got gold in my fillings too. And I was just thinking I was going nuts. But God touched me in ways with that oil. To this day, I still can't explain to people, but I was soaked in it. Oh yeah, I went to the dentist. He says, where did you get these gold inlays? I said, God. Because I didn't get mine at church. My wife told him at church. And he just can't get over it because he fills our teeth. He does dental work. Well, we can't afford to go get gold. And he just can't get over it. He looks every time. I was at the dentist this past week, and he looked. He said, "Yeah, I still see your gold." I said, "Yeah." I said, "It ain't gonna leave." I said, "It won't go away." So, and I did bring my light, so if anybody wants to see my gold, they can see my gold. But He gave it to me, nobody else. And I tell you what, God's here today. His presence is here today. And I seen another thing. People ask me, how do you know God's real? Because I'm still alive. I shouldn't be. I shouldn't be alive. I've had doctors look at me and in awe because they gave up on me, and they walked out of a room, and they see me later, and they said, "Mr. Pritt, you lived." And this is doctors that teach doctors. They wrote me off. So I know there's a God. And I've seen things here. I've seen feathers fall from the ceiling. I've seen feathers fall, not a bird in here nowhere, white feathers. And they disappeared before they touched the ground. Me and my wife watched one. We sat right over there one night, and we watched one fall. And it never touched the ground because it disappeared. And I've seen that 3 times in here. I've seen Billy Deck up here preaching. There's no gold machines in here, and I've seen gold dust fall on it. It sparkled in the light. So I know there's a God. Because things that I've seen can't happen unless there is a God. And that's like tithing. We need to tithe because God's math, this is funny. I'm going to tell you a little thing. God's math isn't our math. We were worried our car insurance was going high. It was getting unreal. And we went in and we told the lady, we don't have money to pay this kind of car insurance. Because I'm on a limited income. And she said, well, let me sit down here and figure out some numbers. Well, to me and my wife walked out of there, we were saving $300 and we had more car insurance than we had before. That's God's math. And that's how it works. I prayed one day, and God has a sense of humor. He jokes with us.
He does.
And we were just sitting down naming things that we would like to eat, me and my wife. Because we didn't have much money to buy groceries. We really never ever bought groceries because we could never afford to go to grocery shopping. And we said, we'd like to have some shrimp. We'd like to have some chicken. It wasn't but an hour later, a man called us, told us to come over to his house and bring coolers. We had no idea. He gave us shrimp. He gave us chicken. He cleaned out his freezer. Everything we jostly said, he gave us. Now, if that ain't God, I don't know what is. Because that man had no idea what we were doing. And I even got elk meat that day. I love different kinds of meat like that. But I can tell you, I can go on and on and on. Because I'm a man that should not be here. I'm a man that's totally different, DNA and everything. And I'm here. And all I can do is give God the praise for it, because he's the only one that can do that. No man can do what God can do.
Wonderful. And we have people all over the place. People have come to this place for 30-some years, and it's not us. And miracle after miracle. People with AIDS, gone. I had a brother up on the hill. I have a place where I keep single men, and you've heard his story. His name is Ron, Big Ron. And we used to work for the mafia, and he's a very, very liberal, very liberal. Always argues with me. I would never argue with him. And one day I went up there and he was all upset. And I said, "What's wrong, Ron?" And he said, and he gave me the name of the eye disease. He told me I'm going to go blind. They told me I'm going to lose my eyes. The Spirit of God rose up in me. I said, "No, you're not, Ron." "What?" I said, "Close your eyes." And I put my thumbs in his eyelids. And I cursed it. And I said, "I command it to go." And I knew in my heart it was done. And I took my thumbs away. And I said, "There you go." He said, "What?" I said, "There you go. You're okay now." "Really?" I said, "Yeah." I knew by the Spirit of God he was okay. So about a week later, he came down. We had a thrift store right down the road here, and he walked in. He's crying and weeping and hugging everybody. And he had gone back to the doctors, and it was all gone. And he gave his heart to Christ. God is doing miracles. If we just believe him. If we just believe him. I'm telling you right now, but we are going to. We're going to believe God for much greater miracles. Because there's a lot of people who need to be touched.